It's just been a few weeks since I've left New York City. I left the Monday after they announced that the New York City schools would close. So that was announced on a Sunday. I left the very next day since I work in schools. So I knew that there was no point sticking around. I wouldn't be getting any income. So I waited to file for unemployment for, because you have to wait for a week where you're not getting any income or working. So after the week after I got my last paycheck, I started filing for unemployment. I started trying online, where most people nowadays would usually try to file is online, and the website crashed. And I was like, all right, maybe it's because I'm trying to use my girlfriend's Mac. Maybe it's because it's a Mac or something. Uh, then I try it on my cousin's computer. Doesn't work. I try it on my phone. Doesn't work. Crashes. There's no way to complete it online. So I try with the number. And it took me a second to find the correct number. But then I tried the number. And apparently there's a 2-slot system where that's actually how you talk to a live person. You have to get into 2 different slots, and it's kind of like a lottery almost. It's totally random. So the first slot is to actually connect to the automated service, and then the next slot is to talk to a live person. So through the automated service, I was able to answer a lot of the preliminary questions, but in order to start my claim officially, I need to talk to a live person. And so many people have been calling, I guess, that they just can't handle it. But this is a huge ordeal because there's a lot of people that are going to be depending on these unemployment benefits in New York City, especially when they do a full quarantine, which, as I've been saying, is inevitable. And they've been talking more and more about this possibility, closing all the bridges, bringing in National Guard. Cuomo and de Blasio have been begging for the military to step in. They've already put National Guard in New York City to help with logistics and things like that. But pretty soon you're going to have martial law in New York City, enforced by the military. And there's going to be people stuck at home, not able to buy the things they need, not getting deliveries. It's going to be tough for a lot of people. I've been telling all my loved ones, like, listen, you got to stock up. You got to, be prepared for a few months of not getting any food. Be prepared for any situation where the supermarkets might not be getting those shipments. They might not even turn on the lights in the supermarket. So I was lucky enough to escape. Now I'm in rural North Carolina, and even here it's not safe. The numbers are going up around here. I believe it's almost 2,000 or over 2,000 cases in North Carolina, and all up and down the East Coast. It's getting hit pretty bad, and so now there's not that many places you can go where there isn't a significant amount of cases, unless you go to the breadbasket of America in like South Dakota and North Dakota and Wyoming. Those places, they don't even have double-digit numbers as far as cases, much less deaths. But they really need to figure this out. The 1,200 that's being sent by the federal government isn't going to be enough to cover everybody. You got a lot of people with kids that have been working part-time, or maybe working 2 or 3 different part-time jobs, and they're not getting PTO right now. I'm not getting PTO right now. I'm depending on that unemployment. Luckily enough, I stocked up on the essentials so that even if I went flat broke, I could at least eat something. So I have my supplies, and I'm trying to not spend too much money when I go grocery shopping, because I'm still going grocery shopping out here. We're going out, very rarely to do a little bit of grocery shopping. Usually that's about it. And you can see people even out here starting to get a little more concerned, start seeing more people wearing masks and gloves. So people are definitely nervous about this all across the country, even in the most rural areas. And I read an article yesterday about the different effects in rural areas, how different events get canceled, different things get closed down, and it's affecting the economies, local economies in our country quite a bit. And if people don't get their paychecks, they're going to be buying less as well. And but we have seen that Amazon and Costco, they're making record profits because a lot of people are relying on them for a lot of their supplies, while the small businesses again are getting wiped out, and they're looking for those grants that are supposed to be coming from the federal government. But it's going to be tough to come back from this. Trump wants to restart the economy soon, and I'm not sure if that's the best idea. It might be, because if we go into a straight up depression where we've got like 100 million people unemployed or more, let's say like half the country is unemployed, like we can't sustain ourselves that way, and the dollar is going to crash. And they're trying to stave that off by inflating the dollar as much as possible. And the Federal Reserve pretty much gave Donald Trump a blank check as far as how much money he wants to inject into the economy, and that'll really devalue the dollar and crash our economy, according to a lot of economic experts. I'm not any kind of economic expert, but I do listen to a lot of people that this is their field. That's who I go to. I go to the experts. I say, what are the experts saying about this? And I just say what I heard from them, because I'm not a economic expert. But I can connect dots. I can put two and two together to make four. And what I see is a very dangerous situation for New Yorkers. And I even got an email from my boss saying, it's basically a tutorial for how to get through the unemployment benefits phone tree. And it says, it even says in this tutorial, like, hey, this is going to be a all day thing. You're going to be trying for hours and hours to try to get into this system. And it just seems like a huge obstacle for most people. Like, it's just going to drive you crazy just to hear the busy signal so many times.
We're sorry. We are experiencing an extremely high volume of calls at this time. Please call back or go online to www.labor.ny.gov to file a new claim.
And it might seem like a small thing, but it's just like so irritating. And like you gotta press uh, the buttons at the right time, and if you mess up, you get kicked off the system, and you gotta try again and again. I mean, this is crazy. You got all these people unemployed in New York. I bet a lot of tech people that could probably help with getting the system back online, and they can work remotely. But it seems like the city, Mayor de Blasio, Department of Labor, New York City, are being really lazy and lackadaisical about this. This should have been fixed within 24, 48 hours. I don't think they really realize They either don't realize how important these benefits are going to be for the millions of people who are unemployed, or B, they know exactly the numbers that they should be expecting as far as people unemployed, and they don't want to release crazy amounts of numbers to scare people. So, they kind of just want to do a little bit at a time. Maybe that's why. Because I think they're preparing for almost everybody to be laid off. I mean, how many people can be working remotely? Think of every restaurant. I mean, people have said this argument already, but think of every restaurant, every part-time job that there is in the city, everybody that doesn't get PTO. Um, it's a lot of people, and more people than you might realize, especially you gentrifiers and people in a higher economic class. You don't really realize how many people are living check to check and don't have a full-time salary job. Even someone like me working in education, where and get paid pretty decently at my job, but it's still not full-time though. Like, I might be making like $30 an hour almost, or something like that, but it's not like I get 35, 40 hours a week, and I don't get those benefits that people get. So there's a lot of situations like that in education, not just in the service industry, but also education. In every industry, there's people like that. Temp workers. I mean, if you've paid attention to the economy at all, you've seen that full-time work has been on a decline all across the world thanks to globalism, and more and more people just working part-time jobs, working multiple part-time jobs to get by. You know, so they really need to figure this out. This is a huge thing that is being overlooked. I hear that they're working on it, but I don't want to hear that you're working on it. I want to hear that it's going to be fixed by tomorrow. That's what I want to hear, because right now I'm just working off of what I have left in the bank, as far as making my grocery shopping and getting whatever things I need out here, because most of my stuff is in New York City, a lot of things. So I had to order a laptop so that I could work on some videos and other things out here, and stay busy. So what else can I say? I mean, give us your comments. Are you part-time? Are you unemployed? Are you living in New York City? Let us know what your situation is in the comments below. Thanks for all the new subscribers and the people that have been checking out my channel. Thanks for listening to me. And yeah, let's continue the conversation. And it'll give me ideas for other videos to make. But this is just something that has been irking me and bothering me and stressing me out, because I feel like I'm gonna have to wait for them to fix this in order to actually apply for unemployment. And then I'm looking online on Twitter, I'm seeing people having issues as well. So I know that there's a lot of people who don't even use Twitter who are having the same issues.